Now, sorry for that interruption. We had some serious technical problems here, and I will do my best to, capture everything we talked about. I started with, telling you that I was going to be away for a couple weeks, and there's a couple things that I wanted you to take away from my show and the show tonight. If you are struggling with addiction, depression, anxiety, if you struggle, then please find the courage and speak up. Come out, share your story with people you trust, especially, but also with people, you can see it would help them if you shared your story, because there's a lot of people out there who are struggling and not there yet to share, who are struggling in silence. And if you watching the show tonight start sharing your story, then I'm pretty sure you will make exactly these people feel less lonely and isolated, and give them a chance to, or give them hope to feel better one day. In trying to find all my words, I totally forgot to introduce my lovely guest today, Tammy Nickel. I'm very excited to talk to her about her book and her wisdom in general, her experiences in life. And I'm very excited to kickstart this conversation once again. She's a natural. She is not shy at all in front of a camera, so it's going to be really interesting. And going back to the things that I want you to have in your back pocket, when it comes to dating, be aware that dressing to impress is not always the most important thing you should focus on. You should feel comfortable in the way you show up. You should try hard to be most authentic, because the person sitting in front of you will find out anyways if you were BSing them. Focus on how that other person is making you feel. Focus on how interested they are in getting to know you, instead of how, again, you show up and try to impress with words or body language, for instance. If it comes to the guys, see if the girls, come across as loyal and trustworthy and might be encouraging you to follow your dreams. And if it comes to the girls, really check in on a regular basis if the guy makes you feel safe and understood and seen. And I find those things way more important than what house is he owning or what car is he driving, right? When it comes to parenting, I know I'm not a mother, but I've been a daughter for 33 years, so I feel I can say something about parenting. Raise your child with trust instead of instilling fear. Really trust that this little human being, even though it looks so incredibly helpless and not knowing what it's doing, that they know exactly where their journey is heading to. I think maybe that is hard to grasp, because we humans, when we are born, we are so vulnerable and so dependent on our parents, and we need all the nurturing and shelter and pampering. We really need that. But if you would give your child more understanding and trust and confidence and don't try to push them into a path that maybe you were not successful in and regret, or that you always wish to see when having a child. Be a little bit more open and curious about what they, like which path they are choosing, and then instill them confidence and trust. And I think parenting would be way more relaxing if we would all trust a little more. So I think, that's pretty much what I said in the messed up first version. And now I want to guide the conversation to Tammy. We talked about her book. It's a very interesting title. That's how it starts. And she is a very courageous, wise woman, because she's sharing her story, and in sharing her story she wants to show people that we all have our very own experience in life, and we all have to allow ourselves to really see it from our perspective compared to, for instance, our siblings. I find it very hard to understand that for my brother our childhood was extremely different, and he perceived everything on a very different level. But as soon as I found out about this, it made me understand him better and feel less isolated from my family. And so it's a very powerful book that Tammy wrote here. And I'd love you to share with us where we can buy it, and then the title and what led you to write the book.
Alrighty. The title of the book is called Designed to Be Uniquely Me, penned by Anissa Blake. And people wonder why I have a pen name. It is so that people cannot sue the publisher or me if they don't like the story. My sister, for those who know, would be the one that asked me, so I can't sue you? And it shocked me, because family's supposed to be supportive and loving and have your back and be understanding and compassionate. But we have to remember they're all their own unique individuals. Mm-hmm. And we cannot put them in a specific box and expect them to be who we want them to be. You can find that book at Chapters. You can find the book at my publisher, Balboa Press, through Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And probably any other bookstore if you like. You can go there and ask them to bring it in. Mm-hmm. And they'll bring it in for you, I'm sure.
Awesome.
So the book is my unique perspective of an autobiography. It is telling about my life story from my own unique perspective. And as many people as we have on this planet, there are that many unique perspectives. We cannot go around this world thinking that we are the only one that know, and we are the only one that is right. There's no right and wrong. Mm-hmm. We're all right in our own way, mm-hmm. and we're all telling our story and living our life in our own unique perspective. Mm-hmm. Designed to be uniquely me is my whole life. I've always been unique, always been separate and apart. I've not had a lot of friends. But we only need a couple of really good, supportive, loving friends that get us and will always be there no matter what. So I don't need a lot. I just need a few really good people. Mm-hmm. So when you find them, hold them close. Mm-hmm. And I like what you said earlier about the support. It is nice. It is freeing to talk about your story. Someone will always benefit. Mm-hmm. The reason I wrote the book is to help other people see the red flags. I had many of my own red flags in my life. I chose to ignore them, and therefore I had harder lessons. I married a man, my first husband, who was a polygamist. We moved out into the little town of Creston, BC, and I had a child with him, and it was very different. People expected me to be living in that lifestyle, and I chose not to. Mm-hmm. I know that I was there for a reason, for a purpose, and that was to shine some light into that area, that arena, that religion, to be uniquely me no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to wear a dress because you tell me to wear a dress. I was going to continue to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would walk into situations where people were talking about me behind my back. I didn't care. I would go up to them and treat them with dignity and respect anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what you would want? We're all here for the same purpose. We're all the same. Different expressions of God's divine wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, though, want us to be in the box. They don't want us to be different because that scares them. That challenges them to be better, and people don't like change. They want to stay their own self. They want to stay in their fear, in their scarcity, in their lack. They want to stay comfortable even though it's not the best choice.
That's so true. And I don't know why it is.
We're taught that way.
Yeah.
You come from a very different background as well. That you can tell your own story. People probably know, but we have similar background.
Mm-hmm.
We have similar types of fathers,
Mm-hmm.
and they have their own perspective of how they want us to grow up. What do they want to teach us? You might not be a mother, but you know from a child's perspective what you wanted in a
Mhm.
mother,
Mhm.
in a father, in a family. I am a mother. My son is 24, and it was very, very tough. I'm then married to my second husband, and he had 3 boys. So I raised 4 boys, all within the same age group of 2 years. 1, 3, 3, and 5 when we got together. And that was very tough. So they say being a parent is a really tough job. Well, being a step-parent is even tougher
Mm-hmm.
because it's not your bloodline.
Mhm.
You don't have the same feelings
Mhm.
as you do for your own child. And there is a lot of animosity
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a good foundation.
Mm.
And that foundation is very important, but people don't know how to build that in a relationship with your spouse first.
Mm-hmm.
The kids do come first, but they also have to come second to your relationship in order for you to have your best self be present in that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
in that family. So that was a struggle for a while, but I finally got out of there, and I figured out I was losing myself, my soul, in both relationships. But I grew a lot. I had a lot of lessons that were taught to me in a very tough way. But once I stood in my own power and supported myself enough and loved myself enough to get out of those unhealthy situations, life turned around.
Mm.
When you surrender to the bigger power, when you let go, when you find your own wisdom to say enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you get a push from someone, but once you let go, the answers come. That journey gets better, the highway in front of you is clear, and the road is so much easier. And isn't that what we want, is ease and peace?
Yeah, we all want that.
Yes.
So, what do you think made you ignore these red flags?
It's a good question. I was taught when you marry for life. Till death do us part. But do I want to die in this relationship younger than I was supposed to be dying?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to die when I'm in my 30s as opposed to living an old, healthy life?
Mm-hmm.
I was dying. My soul was already dying.
Mm.
And to me, that is death. When you can't look in the mirror anymore and see your own soul,
Mhm.
that's scary. That's a big, big red flag. I had to do something different. So I chose to get out of that. And I also had to challenge all of the beliefs I had from my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't healthy beliefs to carry anymore.
Mhm.
They didn't serve me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that you did the same thing. From in your own way,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
have to challenge what your friends tell you,
Yeah.
what your teachers would tell you, what your religion would tell you, as being in that box and being safe and not stepping out. And everything is fear-based. It's a fearing God. It's a God-fearing God. No, God is loving.
Mm.
Life is loving. Life is energetic and peaceful when you stop fighting it, when you let go of that resistance to it.
Mm-hmm.
So the red flags, I wanted to live what I thought was right. You stand by your man, no matter what. Well, not if it goes against what is right for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only one in my family that was divorced. And that was tough.
Mm-hmm.
That went against everybody's understanding of what life is supposed to be. So therefore, a little bit of pushback from everyone, not the support that I expected when I came home.
Mm-hmm.
I came back to Lethbridge thinking I'll get the support and understanding from my family, and I didn't get it.
Yeah. Until you wrote the book.
Until-
or
yes.
your mom read the book.
Yes, my mom read the book, and then when I asked her what she thought of it, she broke down in tears and said, I am so sorry that I couldn't give you the love and support you needed when you needed it, because I didn't have it to give myself. I didn't have it to give you. And I had already forgiven her because my bigger perspective looked at it from a different way, from a higher knowledge. And it was already done, and I made it through. When you write the book, it's already, your story's already halfway finished.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is the rest of your journey. That was my way of letting go of all of that. Letting go of it so I can have peace and freedom inside. And that's pretty important in this lifetime.
Yes. Because a lot of us, me included, think or feel that after we get intensely hurt, we build up walls and then we escape into sports or become a workaholic. And then one day we get the wake-up slap or something else makes us surrender. Did you live in resentment before you were able to forgive and have compassion? Or how did you live during that time where you didn't find support?
Well, in that second marriage, I didn't have the support from that husband. He chose to drink his feelings away. He didn't want to talk about it. The kids were not his children, but my son was the brunt of his anger. And sometimes it got physical. And that was another big flag that said, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this. So yes, there was resentment. And he told me, my wall is so high you will never climb over it. I said, then why do I even try? There's another flag that said, I'm paying attention this time. I'm not going to let that go. So I started planning. How am I going to get out? Where do I find the money to get out? What are the resources I need to leave this situation with my son? How am I going to be safe? And once I surrendered, everything worked out. I seriously had to do nothing but receive. I said, God, I don't know how to do this, but I know you do. And he came back to me with the answer. He says, I'm going to remortgage the house to give you the money that you need to leave. Perfect. So it took a little while to do. And my wonderful twin flame was waiting on the other side for me and welcomed me with open arms. And that is what is there when you surrender and let go and follow the journey that you know is in front of you. And my life is beautiful and loving and compassionate now. No expectation from either of us for the other. It's just freedom and peace. Beautiful.
Beautiful. But you had to find yourself first.
Absolutely. That always starts with you.
Yeah.
You have to look inside and do the hard work. There was many nights where I remember coming home from the business that I owned that was not working well. I had to learn to let that go as well and get a full-time job. I didn't like my life for a while, but I was recreating my life.
Yes.
With the thoughts and feelings and perceptions that I knew I had to change.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted to feel, and I knew what I didn't want to feel. I knew what I wanted to create and what I didn't want in my life. And then the journey just changed. But I had many nights where I cried. Sat on my bed and I cried and cried. I don't know what to do. And I kept getting this feeling of a touch on my shoulder. You're okay. We've got you. And many times my angels were there saying, we're supporting you. Keep doing this work. And I would journal for hours and hours and hours, and my thoughts would flow out. I have to forgive. Once the forgiveness started, once I allowed myself, and you have to allow yourself that forgiveness. It doesn't mean they're free. It means I'm free. That I no longer have to hold them or myself hostage.
Yeah.
The freedom started feeling really good. And the forgiveness became something I would do quickly so that I didn't hold any resentment. I didn't hold it within me. And the more you let go of that, the more room we have for light and love.
Yes.
And then I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I had to be a voice. I knew that I had to share my wisdom, and every experience we have comes with wisdom and something that we can teach. But you can't teach what you don't know. People wonder, why is my life so hard? It's because you need the experience.
Yeah.
And we ask for that hardness. We ask for that clarity, and that's how we get it, is by going through the tough time.
Yeah. If you would go back, the you now, the Tammy from today, and talk to the Tammy back then in the first marriage, what would you tell her?
I would say to her, it's okay to leave. When this isn't working for you, it's safe. You know that you can handle anything that comes your way. And there will always be someone there that will support you. You just have to look in a different direction. And it might be the stranger that lives next door. It might be the stranger that you see in the grocery store, but there's always going to be someone that is loving and supportive.
Yes. If you are brave enough to speak about your struggle and your story, right? You have to walk that talk. Or how do you say? You have to
walk the walk.
Walk the walk and open up, and you will always find support. It is, amazing. And as you say, it can be the person at the grocery store, the cashier.
It is so easy for me to say that now, but people struggle with opening up. But if you don't start, if you don't allow a little bit of light to come into the darkness, how are you ever going to find your peace? Yeah.
Overcome that shame. Because I think it's shame.
It is shame. You blame yourself for everything. But where does that come from? That comes from our parents. That comes from society. You don't have to hold on to that. Let go of that fear that someone's not going to want to hear your story, or you will be blamed for something else. Let it go. Yeah. And just share. Even if it's writing it down on a piece of paper and burning it so that your feelings are out. You need the release. If that doesn't feel good, I know a lot of men don't journal. And men need healing just as women do. We all have been hurt. Yeah. I would suggest to you to find a comfortable pillow and beat it.
Scream into it.
Scream if you have to. I did a drum circle once with women, and it was so powerful because you're banging on the drum and you just scream, and that was freeing because we're taught, shh, be quiet. Yes. I don't want to hear you.
Suppress.
Yes. No, shout it from the rooftop. When you know something, help others. Yeah. Let out your fear, your frustration, your anger. Yeah. And reach out for help. That's why I'm here. That's my journey and my purpose. Yeah. Is to help others. There's always somebody that will help, but first you have to ask. Yeah. I need help. There is bravery in that. There is a lot of strength in that. Vulnerability. Yeah. If you don't have that, you're not going to get help. Yeah. We actually watched someone jump off the high-level bridge. We were walking in the park. And we could see them up there. Through his camera, my partner was taking pictures. He says, I'm not sure what it is, but my heart knew. And then he jumped. Oh, no. Afterwards, I asked my intuition, why in front of us did he jump? And the answer was because he wanted to be seen. So stand up in this world and be seen and be heard. It's time. It is time for that. If you don't do that, no one else can tell your story. No one else can help you uncover the layers of your fear and grief and your shame and blame. Stop blaming yourself. It's not your fault. It's society. It's everything. We're all in the same boat there. Yeah. And we all have to go through it. Yeah. And I like to, put the light on from another perspective. If you choose not to share it, you not only harm yourself, but you withhold your gift. That's right. You don't help others in the way that you could rescue maybe some people out there if you would only share. It's not about rescuing other people, it's about showing up for yourself, and in doing so, giving other people the chance to do the same. Absolutely. And this is why
yeah, I respect you so much for writing that book and for coming here and talking about this. It's, yeah, very, very heartwarming and touching. And
Thank you.
yeah, it's great. You are a Reiki master.
I am.
So the people who come to see you, is there like a red line of, is it anxiety, depression, sadness, fear that most people struggle with, or is it all over the place, the help that people need from you?
I would say you covered most of them, but the biggest one is a lack of self-love. When I bring out the mirror and ask them to look in it, people cannot look in the mirror and see their own face and see their own eyes, because the eyes are the window to the soul.
Yeah.
How sad it is that you can't see yourself.
Well, and expect your partner to look at yourself and see you, because they can't.
If you don't love yourself, no one can be expected to love you.
No.
If you can't appreciate who you are for the gifts that you have, for just being your authentic self, you can't expect others to do that either. Everything starts with you. And then there's a great big circle of gratitude and appreciation and love once you start doing the work for yourself. So I would say everybody needs a little bit of all of that. They all need to look at their own fear. Where did the fear come from? How did it start? Why is it still there? Why do you choose to hold on to it? And how about letting it go? And why don't you love yourself? Who told you that you're not good enough? Because we are all good enough. We're all deserving. We're all worthy of everything. You cannot be expecting blessings and miracles to fall into your life if you don't love and value yourself. And we want miracles. We want blessings. We want opportunity and experiences. We want the good stuff. But in order to have the good stuff, you got to let go of the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And we all have negative from the past. We all have hurt and pain. Not one of us is excluding from that.
No.
We all need healing. Healers need healing too. I see healers. I have people work on me as well. And I've done my own inner work. I've rescued myself, but I still need help because the layers keep coming. And there might be something that I am triggered to bring back up to release. And many people have to have that again and again. They need help again and again. Even if it's 3 years later, they still need to remember their own inner truth and see their light again.
Yeah. Do you think us healers need to go through especially hard times?
Yes.
In order to have more compassion and understanding and being able to relate? Because I thought about that the other day and I said, oh, maybe it all makes sense now. Because if I didn't have that experience, then I'd be a totally different person. Right?
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
So if you're feeling sorry for yourself, remember, it's giving you gifts to share. What are your gifts? What do you want to share? Who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to help? We're not here to help heal and save the world. We're just here to shine our light and help some that are in our journey, some that come across our path. And there might be lots. I've had lots of people, and it might be money that they need help with. It might be just an ear, someone willing to listen. It might just be a shoulder to cry on or arms to hold them while they release it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that we're here to do, every single person is unique in what they need. And we're here to give it all. If you just allow yourself to share your story and open up and be honest, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, don't be scared.
Tear down the wall brick by brick by brick by brick, one at a time. Open it up and see what's there.
Yeah.
You'll only be scared for a little while. You'll only...
Yeah.
It doesn't take long once you start to allow.
No, it's like the ignition. Yeah.
Yes.
When you start your car, it's like big energy first, and then it runs smoothly. So just trust it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very beautifully said.
Thank you.
We all try to fool ourselves all too often and fool others, I find, and you probably saw that many, many times, when it's in a group setting and we just want to come across as confident and think that the other person would, not see that we're very insecure in what we're doing, actually. And I wonder why we have to do that all the time, but I think, it's protection, wanting to belong. But there's one example, and I'm not going to drop names or anything, but this person was always very, very happy and excited to see me, to the point that it got too much for me, because I could feel that there's something bad going on. Like, I could feel their sadness, but they would overcome it with happiness.
Exuberance, just way too
much. God,
yes.
It was so sad. And then we had that evening, that gathering, and this person opened up and told me, you know what, this and that is happening in my life. And it was a moment where I was like, oh my God, now I can finally tell you that this is what I want to see. I don't want this super cheerleader, that was close to annoying me. And this person was very relieved then that, he or she could be authentic then with me. But it took that amount of alcohol for this person to let down the guards and tell me their story, and then it felt good. And have you experienced that before, that you have that dissonance? You meet someone and that extreme dissonance, and
yes,
you have to play the game. You cannot say, oh, I'm going to cut through your bullshit now and say, no, you're traumatized and you need help. How do you deal with that?
I'm actually dealing with one person right now in my life that I just met about a month ago, and I can tell that there's so much deep-seated sadness and grief and shame and blame. They don't love themselves the way that they need to. They're not authentic, but they give that persona of being happy. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm not as gentle as you. I actually call them in their BS. I say, no, you need to come clean with this. You need to look at yourself and say, what is going on that I keep showing up in this way? Actually, that person is not showing up. They want to avoid, they want to run, they want to go as far away from their real life as possible because they're not willing to look at it. So in sharing of that story, I got to find out why and how come that person is still sick. The illness is related to that time in their life, but they're not willing to go back and look at the choice that was made that they still have not forgiven themselves for. So we can forgive others, but do we forgive ourselves?
No, that's
not
hardest.
as much as we need to.
Yeah. It's hardest. And you work with that person, and that person is slowly opening up and
That's
realizing.
right. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And sometimes it's silence. People say, well, that's not an answer. Well, it is an answer. In the silence, they're contemplating, they're processing what it is you're saying to them. And it might be 2 days before they respond. But they're still processing. Their heart and their soul are connecting to each other to find out if that is their truth. What am I hiding? What is the reason that I'm hiding? Why can't I show up? You have to push a little bit in order to get people to see the real truth.
Oh, yeah, because you make them so vulnerable.
Yes.
You take them from here back to there, and down there they don't really know, oh God, who am I going to face?
Exactly.
How am I going to live? Like, am I going to function at my work anymore if I let all these walls down? Right.
And the big thing is they still function, but happier, lighter, in agreement with more things. They become in their flow of the universe rather than going against that.
Yeah.
And once that resistance is gone, they're happy.
And I believe I might have disagreements with people out there. This work that you just described is the biggest cancer escaper. Because
Agreed.
if we live in that resistance and we trick ourselves, we fool ourselves in being someone else, in our system, this inauthentic energy is going to build up, and then it makes us sick.
It does. In every cell of the body, it holds the memory of the situation, of the hurt, of the pain, of the fear. And if you do not face it, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is how the Reiki energy healing is so helpful, because it flows through the body. The energy does the work for you to a degree. It gets it started and brings things to the surface so that you can look at them with a clear vision and then understand them. And it's when people start understanding that they can make some changes. Because a lot of times they don't understand, well, where did I get that thought from? Why am I holding on to that? I thought I'd let that go. So it's that clearness, that clarity that they need.
Oh, yeah, that's so powerful.
And the biggest thing in the Reiki healing is the peace. Everyone says, I feel so peaceful and so calm.
Yes.
Well, that is our general natural state. And why would you not want that all the time, every single day, every minute of your waking day? Claim it. Claim it.
Oh,
it's
you have
ours
to
claim.
fight for it.
Yes.
You have to fight for it.
But first you got to let go of the baggage. You got to take all that stuff that you're carrying on the shoulders and in that garbage bag, and you got to release it, let it go, and let Source have it back. You don't need it anymore because you're healing now. You're choosing a new life. You get to be the author of your own story. You get to create who you want to be. So who do you want to show up as? This hurtful, harmful, abusive person who yells at everybody because you're not happy? Or do you want to be a healthy, loving, exuberant, joyful person? Authentic person.
Empowering others, right? Because when you're healthy, then you can lift other people up and
absolutely
help them to get to the same level.
So like I say to all of my clients, you have to claim your power. You have to step into it. And it's not just women. It's men too. We both need divine feminine and masculine in each of ourselves. Claim it. My partner found his way before he met me. He did his inner work. And he found his divine feminine instead of being so much masculine that we're a great compliment, because I was so masculine because I had to be. Protector and provider, and we had to find that balance within ourselves of allowing the other to be what we needed in ourselves. So it really is beautiful once you claim it. And I will not apologize for being strong and powerful and being in my own divinity, in my divine feminine goddess self. That's who I am.
Well, because you share it with others, and you help others to do the same. You don't make them feel bad about themselves, right? You don't do it in a competitive way. That's what so many people get wrong, is when they see a beautiful, healthy woman that is successfully, running a business and in having that business supporting so many people in the community, that she has to fight with haters and jealousy. They don't see first that it's hard work to get there, and second that you can benefit from that beauty. You can copy paste and do it your way.
Absolutely.
And don't feel intimidated, but feel inspired.
Right. And that's a big thing in this world, is competition. I'm not here to compete with anyone. For all the people that are in this community alone, there needs to be more healers. There needs to be more people that are willing to pick others up. Let's be the community. Let's be the change that we need. Let's not be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. And that's what you and I are here to do, clearly.
Yes. I'm glad we found each other.
Yes, me too.
What are your thoughts on the root cause of addiction or depression? Let's start with addiction.
I'm glad you asked that. Addiction is caused by the dissonance, and that word dissonance to our source and our natural self. Dissonance means disconnection. Disconnected from our truth. They don't love themselves, so they harm themselves. They don't understand their life, so they take the addiction as a way to escape. Same as alcohol. They're both bad, but there's other addictions. There's sex addictions. There's food addictions. They're all harmful.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a way of masking. Let's put on another mask, but I'm going to protect my body with this extra weight so that people can't look at me, so they don't want to be around me. I just don't want anyone to come close.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with addictions of the alcohol and the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to be around you when you're like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to show their authentic self. It's another form of a wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to protect myself from everything. I don't want to show up.
Mm.
Suicide is another one. They're addicted to the attention that they get when they say they're going to commit suicide.
Hmm.
And that's been very relevant for me as well lately. Several people. So why? I'm asking everyone to just look at your truth. What do you feel about the addictions? That dissonance is so strong. Why do you feel that people do that?
They're scared of society and themselves, and it's a way of soothing pain.
But does it soothe the pain?
No, it doesn't.
It might for a little while.
Temporarily,
Yes.
but then it gets even worse. Right?
That's
So
right.
that you have to use again. It creates a distance
Yes.
between, and especially between you and people who want to help you. It creates relationships or lesser of a distance with people who do the same and don't ask questions and are not so interested in the real you. But the people who really love you and want you to be good, you push away farthest when you struggle with addiction. And
Yes.
that makes it hard for both sides, because the addicted person doesn't feel supported and the other person doesn't know how to reach through, right?
Yes.
So,
I have a family member who has been addicted to drugs and was actually a drug mule for a while. And it didn't really occur to him that this was not a good thing until he was shot at and running around in the hills trying to save his own life. But there's still a part of the addiction that's there because it's so prevalent in them. That's all they know. They don't know what life would be like without that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have reached out. I'm not going to let anybody go through that and not say I'm here to help.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't allow.
No.
When they're not allowing, you cannot do anything but send them love
Yeah.
from a distance.
Yeah.
And that's really hard because you want to just hold them.
Yeah.
You want them to say it's okay to let it go now,
Yeah.
but they don't want to.
No.
They're fine, they're fine, they're fine. So it's another mask.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cover it up some more. Let's not bring the attention to it. The family doesn't talk about it.
Mm.
And that's part of the addiction too, is the family.
Yeah.
Where's your support in that person's addiction?
Mm-hmm.
In order to be supportive, let's have a meeting. Let's have a family meeting and say, it's not okay for you to do that. We can't stand by and watch you hurt yourself.
Mm.
And that's another addiction, is cutting. I had that in my family too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fun to see. It's not nice to be on the receiving end of that. So you're not only hurting yourself, you hurt every single person in your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the collective. The collective gets hurt when you don't love yourself because we're all one and the same.
Yeah.
When you want to hurt yourself, that means you want to hurt others.
Mm-hmm.
So why? Why do you want to do that?
But I also think that we should give these people a chance to express themselves what there is missing from our relationships.
Yes.
What they need from us, because maybe, yeah, we didn't have the compassion or the perspective from the other person. Or how do you say? Maybe it's so hard for us to put ourselves into their situation that we stay stuck in the victim mode again, like, oh, we cannot help you and you should stop this, but they can only stop this if they find something else that protects them and makes them feel safe.
Yes. But there again, they have to be willing and allow help. They have to be willing to allow themselves to say, I want to share this so that I can get the help I need.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share this so that you know what I'm feeling, so that you will have compassion for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked many people that are addicts in different levels. What is the cause? What is the root cause of you in that addiction? What is feeding you so much that you're unwilling to look at your life? They don't have an answer. So how can they expect us to be compassionate if they don't know what's causing that? They don't know, or maybe they're not willing to look at it. That's probably more like the answer. I'm not willing to look at that shadow side of myself.
Oh,
So
but it's so hard.
It is
I don't know.
hard. It is really hard. It's devastating. It breaks my heart.
But that is why I think we on the other side have to be even more compassionate and even more understanding and really force ourselves to be a safe place and not giving that energy of, okay, you have to get better, otherwise I'm not happy, you know?
Oh, definitely. But how do you give that compassion and that all-encompassing hug and love, for example, to a family member that's hurting? I have several in my family. I'm sure we all do. I want to just hold them and say, it's okay. Whatever you're going through, it's okay because we're here. Tell me what's going on. But they don't want to share. They don't want to open the box.
Oh, that's so hard.
And I can see it. I know exactly what's wrong, and I know exactly how to fix it. But they're not allowing me to even come close enough in this physical space to get close enough.
Yeah.
I got a hello the other day, but I haven't seen this person in months. Literally 6 months, maybe more. They don't allow me to get close enough.
Well, because they know you can see what's
That's
going on.
right. And they know that
You're a mirror.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So there's that two-sided coin. I want to help you, but you have to want to help yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to say, yes, I want you to come and help me. We have that free will. And that's a very fine line, too. How much can I usurp that? How much can I go around your free will to push you into opening up? If you don't want to open up, I can't force that person to do that.
Yeah.
I can't force them to look in the mirror if they aren't willing to do the work. We have to abide by that. We have to allow them to say yes or no. And then protect ourselves if they're going to lash out at us. We have to learn to walk away. I've had to do that with many family members and friends. This relationship is no longer working for me. And it's really hard to do that.
Well, yeah.
But that is how we learn to value our own energy, is by speaking our truth and setting up a boundary and lovingly enforce that boundary. That's not okay what you said to me. You can't talk to me that way. I don't allow that. Or, no, that's not the way it is. Let me explain it to you in a different way so you can understand. Or you didn't show up 10 times now. I'm not going to keep asking you if you don't show up. Many different ways that we can look at that. But that's our own authentic self. That's who I am. And I teach people how to treat me. And other people teach people how to treat them if they consistently don't show up, if they don't give you warning that they're not showing up, if they keep canceling on you, if there's always an excuse. So they're not loving themselves, they're not liking their own self, they're not loving who they are and what they've become in this life. And what else do you want to know? What else can we do to help them? We have to step away. Or say our truth. Sometimes it's really hard to hear the truth.
Oh, it's the worst.
And it's hard to say it.
Yeah.
It can be hard to say it because you know that person's going to
React.
They'll react and say, I don't ever want to see you again. Well, if it means that you're going to get the help you need because I've said the harsh words that you needed to hear, that's okay. I'll walk out of your life. But I want you to look at your life and acknowledge what you need to change. And that's part of what I do in my healing sessions. There is some time of talking before to find out what the issues are and where they need to be addressed, and what I can do to help them, what tools do I need to share with them so that I can empower them to be their own healer at home. And that's a big thing for me. I don't want to see a person again and again and again. I want my clients to take all of these tools and put it nicely in their toolbox, fold it up, and put it in their back pocket, and pull them out when they need it. What did she tell me? Let me go back through my toolbox and find that again.
Yeah.
And I want people to be independent, because then they help everyone. So in your family, in my family, we all have at least 30 people in our own inner circle. And every emotion that I have, every way I present myself affects every single one of those people. Negatively as well as positively. So if I'm going to be positive, it's going to rub off on those people and then affect their group of 30 people, and now you have a great big party.
Well, yes.
So what do you want the party to be, a good party or a not so good party? And I always choose the love and the light and the happiness and the joy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had enough of the negative and the hurt and the unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go there again.
Yeah, but if your family has a different definition of happiness and joy, and you show up authentically, then you start a family war.
Not really. What I found is people have gotten used to my light, my cheer, my happiness. And if they're not happy one day and they're not wanting me to be too close to them, then I give them that space. That's the compassion that I have for them. I'll give them that space. And I'll love them from a distance and say hi and bye. But there's other times where they're inviting. And they want that hug and they open their arms. And I'm going to give that to them. I have to be the light in the room. I'm here to be that for people.
And you don't take it personal
No.
when people don't want to receive it.
I used to. But
How
I
did
don't
you-
anymore.
And what was the shift?
Looking at it from a bigger perspective, understanding that we're all here for the same purpose, and that is experience, to be happy, and to shine our light, to be the joy. We're not here to be in pain and to be in lack and in fear. We're here to be happy and joyful and free. And I choose that. Every single day I choose to be in joy. I choose to be happy and loving. You can certainly choose the other, but it doesn't feel very good.
Oh, it's not sustainable and makes you sick and bitter.
That's right. And there's many people that have physical illnesses, and I tell them that. Your body is holding on to every thought, feeling, emotion, every situation you've been through, and your body is telling you it's time to look at it.
Yeah.
It might start with the pain in the knee.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's a hurt finger, and the doctor says you have arthritis. Or they can't find anything wrong, but you're in physical pain and you're exhausted. Well, you have to start looking in the mirror and saying, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
What do I need to heal inside?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what is so, I don't want to say fascinating, it's more sad that there's some people out there who exercise on a regular basis, eat healthy, travel, whatnot, but run away from their emotional pain.
Yes.
And then they get sick and die from it, and you're
Yes.
like, oh my God, I would have never expected that. But they were not living in authenticity.
That's right. Yes. And it is sad to see.
Oh, it is
It
dramatic.
hurts the heart.
Yeah.
But again, we can't do much about that if they're choosing not to be happy and
Yeah.
healthy and whole.
Yeah.
If we give them the opportunity, if we tell them this is a safe place, I've got the arms to hold you and the ears to listen and the compassion to understand.
Yeah.
If they don't want to accept that, there's not really much more we can do, but I still send them love. Wherever I am, I'll send those people love. And if they've allowed me to heal them before, then I send them that healing energy at home,
Yeah.
at a distance.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is exactly what we need more in our society, Western society, is that compassion and listening ability and giving space ability, because, so many people feel they cannot trust and cannot open up. And
Right.
they don't know because we don't shine enough. Yeah, we don't show up enough and say, hey, I'm a person you can talk to.
Exactly. So if more people would say, yes, you can come and talk to me, I'm here, I'm
I've
available.
been through the same.
Yeah. Then we would have more people open up.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it needs to start with each one of us being authentic. Each one
Yeah.
of us saying, why am I here? I know there's a bigger reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just to live this 3D human, go to work, come home, and be unhappy life.
Nope.
It's to be the best example that we can possibly be while we're here.
Yeah.
And shine the light and be the way we want to feel. Be who we want to show up.
Mhm.
How do I want people to see me if and when I die?
Mhm.
Do I want to have 2 people show up and say, yeah, she was okay?
Mhm.
Or do I want everyone to be there and saying, she touched my life in so many important ways?
Yes.
And that's not to brag. It's not to be from ego. It's why we're here.
Yeah.
It's to touch people.
Yeah. Touch people's hearts.
Yes.
That's a beautiful ending, I would say. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much for, the time you donated here and everything you shared. And I'm very grateful we met. I hope it wasn't the last time.
It won't be the last time.
Yes.
There's always a purpose and synchronicity. Right?
Yes, and I'm sure you will write more books.
Oh, I'm encouraged to write more, so
Very
probably
good.
will.
Very good.
Thank you, Aurora.
So please repeat the title of the book and
Sure.
Yeah.
The book is called Designed to Be Uniquely Me, penned by Anissa Blake.
Awesome. And you can find it at Chapters, Amazon, and buy the book and support this beautiful lady. I
you.
will be back with the Borealis Show end of June. There's a little break coming up. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you then with new inspiration and new energy, and see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.